I think everyone out there has a genre of games that they really like, that speak to them. For me, it's the puzzle platformer. I really enjoy games like Limbo, Little Nightmares, Inside, Braid, Fez, and Thomas Was Alone. So when I see a new game that comes out that is very similar to those, it piques my interest. I get excited for it. And that's what happened with Stela. As soon as I saw the trailer, I wanted to play this game. I wanted to see if it could give me the emotions I felt when I played my Game of the Year 2016 Inside, or if it's more a mediocre title in the genre like Black the Fall. And we're going to discuss all that right now in this review for Stela. What's going on, guys? Randall Thor 19 back again with another Rands in the Spotlight. Hope everyone's having a great day. And if you don't mind, if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. So Stela is available right now today on the Xbox One and Apple Arcade for $20. It's developed by Skybox Labs, who are interestingly also working on Halo Infinite alongside 343 Industries. Now, I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, all the footage is captured directly from the Xbox One X, and I'm sure you're probably already saying to yourself, wow, this game looks just like Inside. And after finishing it, about 2.5 hours in one single session, so you know it kept my interest at least the entire time. I have to say that is exactly the vibe and the type of game these developers were going after. It's like they played Inside and was like, you know what, this is the height we want to reach. We want to create something as great as Inside. However, they fall a little bit short. Stela's not as good as Inside, but you know what? It's not a bad game. It's a good game. It's just not a great one. And it's pretty simple, just like Inside. You have a button that you press to jump, and you have a button that allows you to grab objects and move them from place to place. Now, the story setup is pretty simple. You play as a young woman, although she's not named, but I guess we're going to call her Stela, who is witnessing the final days of mysterious ancient world. And they get the mysterious ancient world part. There's a whole bunch of different levels that are separated through loading screens, and it's never really clear what's going on. So they nail that mysterious aspect to it, right? And they also do a pretty good job of putting you in harm's way to try to figure out what you need to do next. Like the very beginning of the game, you're thrust right into the action as these beetles clamber to you, and if they touch you, you die. So you kind of have to think fast on your feet to be able to survive, because if you're not, you're going to die over and over and over again. And they do a pretty good job of kind of transitioning from, sections where you're running away or quickly grabbing objects to pull yourself up, or maybe pull something down to block the attacking enemy, to quiet stealth sections where you have lengthy, like, aliens looking for you, and if they spot you outside of your hiding spot, well, they'll come and basically kill you in one shot. There's no story in the game whatsoever. There's no dialogue. Everything's kind of told through environmental storytelling. And the game's broken up into different levels. When you get to an end, there'll be a loading screen, and then you'll be into a new area that has a distinct color palette. Like, you start off in a farm area that's kind of gray. You move into a wooded area that's more of like yellow. The sun is setting, and like the light is barely coming through the trees, and aliens are looking for you. You get into another level that features snow with some beasts that are underneath the ground that basically will chase you when you walk on it, kind of like Tremors. I will say, every time you encounter that load screen, it does pull you out of the experience a little bit. You know, in the games like Little Nightmares and Inside, it's kind of underrated that it's always the same thing. You're moving into a new area and you never encounter a load screen. You don't really appreciate that until you play a game like Stela, which has load screens, and that's something that really kind of stood out for me. I thought the score was pretty good. It set the mood and the atmosphere very very well, in my opinion. And the game looks great in some spots, but bad in others, especially in the forest. It's sometimes hard to make out the areas are kind of supposed to climb into the background and the foreground. So it's kind of hit or miss about whether or not the game actually looks good. But it plays well and has an interesting concept, and it did keep me engaged for the entire time. It just, there are better games than this in the genre. So if you're someone out there who hasn't played Inside or Limbo or Little Nightmares, then go and play those games right now, because they're absolutely amazing. But if you played those games, and like me, you enjoy this genre, then you know what? I do recommend Stela. I recommend playing it. You will enjoy it. Just kind of set your expectations in check. $20 is a little high. There's really no replayability unless you're going for the 2 achievements that, require you to beat the game without dying and beat it under 90 minutes. It's 2 hours long, so keep that in mind. And with all that said, I'm going to give it a 7.4. I enjoyed the game. I recognize that it's wanting to be Inside, but it just doesn't do enough to kind of separate itself from the better games in the genre. And it could have too. It could have too, because the last section of the game is pretty damn cool and unlike anything I've seen in this puzzle platform genre. But even after I finish it, I didn't sit there and say to myself, wow, I just experienced greatness. What I experienced was just a good game. And if you enjoy this type of game, then maybe you should consider picking up Stela whenever it suits you, although I would probably pick it up for $10 down the road. Anyways, that's my review for Stela, guys. It's available today on the Xbox One and Apple Arcade for $20 if you want to check it out. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit the like button. Let me know in the comments below if you plan on picking this up, and if you already played it, what did you think about the game? Share this out on social media, hit that subscribe button, and as always, if you want to be notified immediately when I drop new content, make sure you hit that notification bell. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.